If you went to any store, there was a Mega Man game on the shelf, whether it be for Nintendo, PlayStation, portable, it didn't matter. There was a Mega Man game out there. And up until 2010, which was the release of Mega Man 10, there are a ton of them. And I tried writing down a list here of what games were out, and I know I am missing some. I'm going to try to include some games that were released either in Japan or in Europe, but may not be released in North America, but they would later come to America in some way. So, all right, let's take a look here. Of the classic series, we had 10 games. Mega Man X, we had 8 games. Mega Man Legends, 2 of them. Zero, 4 games. ZX, 2 games. Battle Network had 6 games, but 4 of those did the Pokemon thing, where the game split into 2, like a blue version and a white version. So there are technically 10 Battle Network games. Also, Star Force did the same thing. There were 3 of them, but split into 2, so there's technically 6 Star Force games. There's also the Game Boy games, which was actually my first ever Mega Man game on Game Boy. Those are their own separate games, by the way. They're not just ports. So there's 5 Game Boy games. There was also a remake of Mega Man 1 for the PSP called Powered Up. There was also the Extreme games, which were Game Boy versions of Mega Man X, but they're their own games as well. I'm out of breath. There was Mega Man and Bass, which was on the Game Boy Advance. There is Maverick Hunter X, which is a remake of Mega Man X. There was Command Mission, which was the Mega Man X RPG. Misadventures of Tron-Bonne, which is the spin-off of the Legend series. There's Network Transmission, which was the platformer version of the Battle Network games that was released on GameCube. I know I'm missing some. There was Mega Man Soccer. There was sports games. Mega Man Soccer, which I remember that game being cool as hell. There was a racing game that I cannot remember the name of. There was Power Battle and Power Fighters, which were arcade games. I know I'm missing some. I know this list is incomplete, but just this list alone, all right? That's 59 games. 59 games right there. And like Mega Man 8, there's technically 2 different versions because the Saturn version has extra boss fights, and oh my god, there's those fucking weird versions of Mega Man 1 and 3 on PC. There's so many games. So, like, that alone, we're getting close to like 60 games. So, 60 games for an X amount of time, like, that's incredible. And then there were no games. So that's why this era is so interesting, because it felt like you could not escape Mega Man to now there's none of them.